Good afternoon, baseball fans. It is January 22nd. It is a Sunday. This is season 2, episode 5 of the Bourbon and Baseball podcast. You can hide your kids, hide your wife. Don't hide your wife. We want her to listen to us, but hide your kids maybe, because we are probably not the most kid appropriate podcast. So we have our bourbon, and by we, I just mean me. I have my bourbon. That's Shelby over there. That's my illustrious podcast host. And today we have Rich O'Toole, and we are super, super excited to have him on the pod. And with that, I'm going to turn this over to Shelby right now, and we're going to get into it.
I'm freaking juiced about this interview. I literally went out on a whim. I was literally sitting on our 2-bedroom apartment patio drinking bourbon and watching college basketball, and I was like, I'm going to reach out to Rich O'Toole and see if he wants to come on the podcast. And
of course,
here we are. Rich, welcome. We're excited to have you. We're excited to talk a little baseball and talk a little bit about a couple things you have coming up. Thank you so much for taking the time out of your day and having Sunday fun day with Bourbon and Baseball.
Of course, yeah. I'm a giant bourbon fan. I'm doing dry January, so I got my Topo Chico. Been trying to cut back. I know. Well, how lame is that?
That's
but
fair.
we can talk bourbon too,
all.
because I've tried, I think, every single one in the friggin' world.
Well, then you're going to have to give me some recommendations.
Oh, I will.
Because at this point in my life, I've tried some bourbons, and really they're just for my husband, because I'm not a fan.
Yeah,
I'm not a fan.
You gotta get the flavor. You gotta go visit Kentucky and get the flavor palette. There's a was it Barstown, Kentucky. I mean, it's insane. They have these tours. It's like going to Napa Valley, but for bourbon, and it's wild.
Are you one of those people that are like, oh, this bourbon has notes of coriander and you can taste the smoke? Are you one of those people,
I can do that
Rich?
with wine. I'm pretty good with wine. I think bourbon, I think it's all a bunch of... Can I cuss on here? Are you allowed to cuss on here?
Yes.
Fuck
okay.
yes.
I think it's a bunch of bullshit. When you get over 30% alcohol, you're really just tasting alcohol flavored. I mean, you can. Some of you are like, oh, this is really smoky, like a good peaty scotch or bourbon that you can tell is in a smoked barrel or something that's been aged for 30 years in a barrel. You can taste that. But some people, when they're like, oh, I'm tasting coconut and vanilla, you're like, you're so full of shit. This tastes like the bourbon we just tried a second ago.
Well, good. I'm glad you're one of those people, Rich. I'm glad you're one of us, because at this point I'm like, no, that's for people that just randomly find the podcast because they're like, oh, they're going to talk about bourbon. We have to preface it with, we are not those people.
Right.
We are the people that are, oh, this $1,000 bottle of bourbon tastes exactly the same as this dollar bottle of bourbon.
And you're enjoying
Probably
it.
not,
That's
but,
all it's supposed to be enjoyed. Yeah. I mean, if my mom drinks the cheapest red wine, it's called Carnivore, and that's all she would drink. And to me, it just tastes like Kool-Aid wine. And I'm like, Mom, let's try this $25 bottle I got from Napa. They only made 2 cases, and she's like, don't like it. I just want my Carnivore. I'm like, she's miserable to go on vacation with because we never get to experience good wine, which she always has to order the wine that tastes like Kool-Aid. I'm like, all right, that's fine. So I get
that's
it.
Funny.
Roll into the CVS in California, find it the
totally.
bottom shelf.
She was totally fine there. Yeah.
But,
that's awesome.
Man, I'm pumped. I'm real big in the Texas music scene. I pay attention to quite a bit of singer and songwriters. And I actually, when I started talking to Suzy about doing this interview with you, I started thinking, I was like, man, when did I start really listening to Texas country music and red dirt music? And the first song I remember, Suzy, you do not know this. I have saved this for your reaction.
Ooh, so I love reactions. Let's go.
I'm 27 years old, so I'm still a young gun.
Yeah.
The very first song I remember listening to was Corey Morrow's Big City Stripper. And now thinking back to this, I'm like, I was listening to this when I was in elementary school. And now
that song came out when I was 11. And I remember listening to it when I was 11, my mom being like, I don't know if this is good or not.
So yeah, I'm spending their life in a velvet seat. Now I'm listening to it and I'm like, man, I probably shouldn't have been listening to this when I was riding in my car seat when I was younger. But I was introduced very young And I had to throw that out there because now it's like on my playlist, and I'm like,
No, I
man, I
love
can't
that. I've,
believe this is.
I've been lucky enough to tour with Corey quite a bit. And there's a line in that song that says, $5 a beer, good God.
Good God.
And that,
Yeah.
that was a beer
Good
price.
God.
That was really extremely high beer prices in the 90s. If you paid $5 for a beer, you were like really upset. And now it's like $5 for a beer.
And then,
Hell yeah, that's a good deal.
oh yeah, you
Right?
got
Yeah.
$5 a beer, Good God from Corey Morrow, and then you got I'm too broke to hang out with y'all, from Rich O'Toole. So
Yeah, that's true.
like I felt that in my soul in Peter and Paul when you said that. But let's get into some a little bit of baseball chat. So, Rich, when we first got on here, you had, you follow us on Twitter. You're very interactive with your fans, but you had said that you were like, "Hey, how was FanFest?" So, Suzy and I both went to FanFest yesterday, and Suzy had a very different experience than I did. So I'm going to have Suzy talk a little bit about her roles and responsibilities and how she was able to interact with the fans at FanFest. So Suzy, I'm going to hand it off to you really quick.
Okay, so FanFest. First of all, this was my first experience with FanFest to begin with. I hadn't been in 2020 they had canceled it, 2021 they canceled it, and before then I wasn't really a fan. So, but I got the opportunity to work it with one of my photographer friends. That's what I do in my day job. My big girl job is I'm a photographer. And so they had a make your own baseball card booth. So they had the green screen, they had Minute Maid Park, the scene was printed on the card, and it basically was 2 wallets printed onto a 4x6 that you had to cut, put together, and then put into a baseball holder. When I tell you that this line literally never let up, I want to say it was probably an hour wait, like 45 minutes to an hour wait to get photographed and do all these things. And I am thinking in my head that all of these people are insane. So if you listen to this podcast and you were at FanFest yesterday and came through the make your own photo booth card line, please know that I love you, but I apparently am just the most impatient person in the world because I would not wait an hour for that. Like there was no way on earth that I would let my child wait for an hour and be like, nope, sorry, y'all, you don't get this. But the people that came through they loved it. And it was actually really cool seeing the reactions of the children getting the baseball card, like seeing them, their little pose and their name on the card. It was super cute. And, we had like people with like little babies, literally. And like I said, since it was green screen, if they held up just the baby, like just the baby was cut out and you would just see the baby on the baseball card. Yeah. And it was so cute. And so, but we never stopped. The line never let up. 11 to 4.
So you were working it. You were basically.
I was working.
Oh man,
it.
that must have been.
Yeah,
you were like, wow.
I did not get to really kind of like enjoy it. I mean, I walked around a little bit. The garage sale line was stupid, insanely long, and I was like, I'm not waiting in that line either. And then all of the really kind of fun things that you could kind of do were you had to buy. And I don't know how random people found the players in the crowd to get pictures with. I was not that lucky, but I had lots of people on my timeline that were like, "Oh, we just ran into Hunter Brown in the crowd." I'm all, "What? Why can I not run into Hunter Brown in the crowd?" No, cool. So it was really cool, but it was very, very, very crowded. Like super.
I'm not a line waiter. I don't wait in lines. Yeah. That's one thing. I'm like, I think the douchiest thing about me. Sorry, that's a really strong word, but the douchiest things about me is I will use whatever power I have to not wait in line because I just hate it. Yeah. I'm just like, oh, is there a chef back there that's a Rich O'Toole fan? Tell him I'm out here and get me in the restaurant. I'm not waiting in this line. So I'm with you on that, man. That's just painful to stand there.
Yeah.
But worth it now. Shelby, I saw that you got a card. Are you a line waiter or did you get hooked up by Suzy?
Oh no, no. I am not a line waiter. Suzy actually made these.
Okay.
Suzy made these.
I designed those, yes.
And so when I went, my kind of FanFest thing was, I was kind of I don't like getting out in the rain. And especially I am a very routine person. Like when I go to Minute Maid, I'm going to park in the same parking lot. I'm going to go get a beer from the same bar before the game, and then I'm going to walk over there. Well, the rain was coming, and I was like, ooh, I don't really want to mess with I know it's going to be crowded. I was like, I don't know if I want to mess with it. It's supposed to rain. And I'm like, I get up in the morning, and I'm like, I'm going to go. So buy 2 tickets. They're $1. I already know it's going to be popping. So we try to get there between 11 and 11:30 when it starts, because we're like, oh, people are probably don't want to go early because it's supposed to rain. Well, then we're on the way. The rain pushes back to 3:00, and I'm like, oh my gosh, it's going to be fucking nuts when we get there.
Yeah.
So, and then I'm buying the tickets at the house, and then I'm like, all the fun shit is sold out. Like, I want to go sit in
all the fun shit got sold out almost immediately, though, Shelby.
I want to go.
When you say fun shit, was it like piggyback ride from Altuve or something? What? Tell me what's fun.
Well, pretty much. I mean,
$3,000 for that. But no,
it was like batting. It was like batting practice. Yeah, batting practice.
You could batting cages, bullpen.
Player autograph.
They let you on the field at all, or
yes, if you did playing catch.
Wow, that's cool.
If you did the playing catch voucher, you could do that. You could be in the bullpen, dugout pictures. There's a lot of stuff that you could purchase extra. They did like clubhouse tours, stuff like that. Trophy pictures. I think there was other cool fun shit that got sold out almost immediately, and you're all, oh, cool.
So then I bought those $1 tickets, and before we walk out the door, I'm like, okay, and, do I still want to go? And I'm like, you know what? Let's go check it out. So we park and walk across, and it is a madhouse. And I'm like, I collect bobbleheads and stuff, so I'm like, okay, I'm going to try to go to the garage sale line. Well, there's so much traffic on the concourse. It's like 45, like Highway 45 at 5:00 with people. Like, it is stop and go. Stopping, this is from getting to line to line. We look at the baseball card line. Like, the first place we go, I'm like, okay, like, let's go see. I got to go to Suzy. I got to get my cards. Her line is like 4 sections long. And I'm like, nope, not going to do that. I'm like, okay, let's go to the garage sale. So we go to the garage sale. That line is 5 sections long, and it's winding. It's a winding line. So it's like 3 lines wide, and it's 4 sections long. People waited over 3 hours for that. Wow. So pretty much we walked around the concourse. I got some Breggy Bomb dry rub. That's pretty much the only thing that I got. I got some seasoning, and then we left. But I knew it was going to be crowded, but it was so crowded to where you couldn't even enjoy it.
Yeah.
Like, it was that crowded. So
they said it was almost like 30. I think it was like almost 35,000 people.
Wow. It's like going to a full. I mean, it's like a playoff game. I mean, it's like packed.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
But see, like at a game, game, everybody's in their seats, so you don't realize really how crowded it is. You can see all 35,000 people were on the concourse.
Wow.
Like,
were the players pretty well protected? They had a lot of security, or were all the players
that
there?
I don't know.
Did everyone show up?
There was a lot there.
There was a good majority of them.
Abreu, Brown, Brantley,
Joe Perez, Michael Brantley was not there. Breggy was there. Jeremy Pena was there. David Hensley was there. JJ Matijevic.
That's awesome. I love Uncle Mike. We re-signed him for this year, right?
Yes.
We did.
He's one of the best. He's one of the best hitters, I think, on our team. I mean, people don't. That sounds crazy saying that, but like, I played high school baseball. I played a year in junior college. Blew my elbow out. You see the scar. So I love the game.
Nice.
That's why I'm a Giant fan. Is like, I played the game. I loved it. Watching him bat would be my worst nightmare. That guy really is probably the most talented hitter we have in our lineup, and that's saying so much because we have such a stacked lineup.
1,000%.
I mean, that's crazy. But he's so patient, and the way he waits on the ball is, that's a nightmare for a pitcher. So I'm glad he's healthy. I'm glad he's back.
Yeah, there was actually
Sorry, that sounded so
Jeff
professional.
Bagwell. No. That's exactly what we
Rich
want
is
to
going to
talk
take our spot. Rich is going to take my spot on the podcast, and I'll see myself out.
So
I'm turning red now.
He's now the guest when I can't be on. So Rich, we're just going to reach out to you, and you're just going to be
I'm in the kitchen. I'll hop on right now. Love it.
Okay,
But,
I'm holding you to this, Rich. I'm holding you to this.
No, the reason I bring up security is I'm really good friends with me and Evan Gaddis go out to dinner like once a month. He's such a good guy. But a lot of times, like, it'll be weird. Like, we'll go eat crawfish, and there's always people start talking, and then they recognize him because there's a beard and everything, you know? This happens every time. That's the thing about, like, famous rich people is they always comp your tab. And I'm like, our tab's like $300. And the restaurant comps it. There's always, like, a long line to get photos. And he's just kind of like, let me eat. We'll figure this out. And a lot of times, you know, they're like, my friend's, you know, kind of famous too. And I'm like, no way he recognizes me. So I'm just the guy that's with Evan. But I can see where people kind of freak out. I mean, if you're a giant baseball fan, I can see where it could be a little kind of dangerous. Like Altuve walking around, people trying to like touch his, you know, hair and stuff. Like, I mean, people are, there's like fanatics and there's people that are like trip crazy. So it's kind of, I get nervous for the players sometimes. Yeah.
No, they had some security like on the field and stuff, but like I said, I don't like the people that I saw on Twitter that had pictures with like Lance McCullers and JJ Matijevic and David Hensley just like walking around like on the concourse. Well, they let them do that. Like I was pretty surprised that they allowed that. But I have to ask you, Rich, has anyone ever come up to you while you were with like Evan Gaddis and they were like, oh my gosh, it's Rich O'Toole, and then not have any idea who Evan Gaddis was?
I think maybe my dad.
That would be amazing.
I brought my dad out. No, there's a couple of times that are fans. People are fans. And that's how me and him met. He was rehabbing down in Corpus, and I wrote the theme song for the Corpus Christi Hooks. I don't know if y'all knew that or not. It's called
I did not know that.
Yeah, so I sing it and wrote it, and they play it like on the 7th inning and everything. So I go down there like 3 times a year, and I'll go and like hang with the players, and I'll play it live on the stadium, and I'll do a big concert like there. And so me and the Hooks are like this. So he was rehabbing down there, and he was like, Gaddis was like, I'm a fan. I know your music. So me and him just started like exchange numbers, and now we're in a group text, and we just text, you know, once a week and just say like, what's up, man? And, he's a good guy. I think he bought a house in Colorado. I'm trying to get him to stay in Houston, but I think he just loves snowboarding. So
that is amazing.
Yeah, but yeah, sometimes people do. I mean, I'm always flattered. It's kind of I kind of tell people like when people are like they don't know Rich O'Toole or whatever. I'm like a minor league baseball player. Like I'm not really in the major leagues yet. If you had to do music in baseball, because no, really, like major leagues, like
right.
Tim McGraw, George Strait, those are like major league dudes. I'm more like batting like 270 in the minor league, which is really fun and it's a good career and like, people recognize me, but it's also like I'm humble enough to know like, no, not in the major leagues in country music yet. We're trying every year and we have a new album coming out and we're pushing hard, but it's a tough business, just like baseball, just like anything else. So
I'm super excited about it. When is your new record coming out?
We're going to drop 3 singles this year. We just dropped one called Wildflower Lane. We have another one called Stay, comes out in February. We have a song called Texas Is My Home that's going to radio. So I'll do like a 120 radio station tour in like 3 months. So I'll visit like all these stations, try to get them to add it, and then we'll try to chart on the top 40, Billboard chart.
Very cool.
And then drop the album in like October. So it'll be like I'm going to work cut out to me. So I do a lot of podcasts, and this is a good warm up for me because I got to do a lot of press and stuff. Not saying that this is good warm up. This is like, I trust y'all, we're all talking about baseball. It's nice. So yeah, there's a lot of work to be done this year, and people don't see it, but it's like one of the hardest businesses because like I'm not guaranteed anything. There's no 401k, there's no salary. I have to generate income every year. I have to go out and play tour dates. Hopefully people buy enough tickets to pay for the overhead, hotels, interviews, podcasts, all that. There's just a lot of work to do. So, but it's exciting. It's like such a fun job because it keeps you on your toes.
Well, we are huge fans as well, and we'll definitely push it.
I had actually seen. I told you before we started recording. I went down like the Rich O'Toole rabbit hole, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I had to. I'm like, I had to. You know, I've listened to. You know, you have to listen to Marijuana and Jalapenos, right?
Right.
If you're a
course,
Rich O'Toole fan, you know that. You got to know Texas Queen. You got to know Peter Paul and 17. You know, you got to know those. But I see that you've been playing a lot of private events. Tell us about Rich O'Toole, the wedding singer, because I could totally see that being just an absolute, oh my God, rager.
Yeah.
Absolute rager, right?
Yeah, we just played, speaking of the trophy, we just played for the governor 2 nights ago for the inauguration. Randy Rogers and Parker McCollum played the first night, and then I played the staff party the second night. And they had the Astros trophy guy there with like the gloves on and the World Series trophy.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, I was trying to get a photo with the trophy and not the governor, but I was like, oh, okay, I guess I'll get a photo with the governor.
You send that to me, Rich. I can Photoshop him out. Like you let me know, okay?
You let me know. This is our second time playing for him. The first time I posted a photo of me and him, and man, I got so much backlash. And I was like, I'm for women's rights. I was like, guys, I am not left or right, man. I'm just a musician trying to make a living. But yeah, the private events pay really well, and that's why we do a lot of those. Is sometimes those will make really big bucks. So the weddings are. There's two things about weddings. Is only about 20%, like the bride and the dad, and like 20% of people know who I am. The other 80% think that I'm there to play their favorite song, and I'm like, no. I play all originals and a couple covers. So like, Grandpa will come up and be like, yeah, do you know My Girl or, the Chicken Dance or something? And I'm like, yeah, we don't do any of that. And he's like, why the hell did we hire this band? He doesn't know any of these songs. And I'm like, dude, did the bride not tell you, like, she had me come to play her wedding because she loves my music? I don't play any other music but my music. It's all originals. I'm so sorry. So there's always that.
I'm pretty sure I would give a kidney to hear Rich O'Toole do the Chicken Dance song. Like, I'm gonna throw that out there.
We're doing a wedding at the River Oaks Country Club March 17th. I'm just so scared because they're paying me a good chunk of change, but I'm also like, I think they're gonna want me to play a lot of covers. So I'm kind of like gonna learn like a bunch of bullshit wedding songs and make the band play it, just for fun.
Please do the Chicken Dance, Rich. I'm begging you. If I could be like on my knees begging you and still be in camera view, I would.
It's like I can do it. I think I got it. I got to learn it on the guitar.
That is Rich O'Toole exclusive, y'all. Like Chicken Dance. That's perfect.
If this does not drop on you got to drop the single too. You got to drop the single.
Oh, you got to.
Well, we'll clip that
man.
part, and that will be the exclusive. That's what
I love it. Shelby, what you said you collect bobbleheads. What bobbleheads do you have that are like real rare?
Nothing super rare, but I'm every once in a while I'll get the urge to spend. I'll usually hustle one of my coworkers. I'm like, hey, if I buy you a $10 ticket, can you come into the gate with me and get an extra bobblehead? So that's normally how we do it. I'll buy like 2 tickets and I'll hustle them like, hey, you'll go to the game with me. I just want your bobblehead.
Yeah.
So I'll buy like 2 tickets in the 400s. We get there early, I'm like, hey, and I'll buy you a couple beers too. And I just want your bobblehead. So
you know what we should do? Here. Hold that thought. Y'all talk for I'm gonna run to my garage real quick and grab something. Y'all talk for 30 seconds. I'll be right back. Hold on.
We can do that. I can't wait to see what Rich O'Toole pulls out. Like that did not sound correct. I can't wait to see what Rich O'Toole shows us from his garage. Oh my gosh. I'm excited about this, Shelby. Also because this bourbon is now hitting. I want you to know I've had a donut to eat.
I found this in my garage 2 days ago, and so it's still in the box, like mint condition. Bregman bobblehead.
Better walk them.
I love it.
Okay, what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna give this to y'all, and have y'all auction it off for charity or something. I don't know, because I think someone will buy it. So if someone buys it for $100, y'all can auction this off through y'all's Twitter. I'll retweet it, and then we can donate the money to a Astros charity. Does that sound cool?
Oh, I think let's do
yes.
Yeah, sign it, and then let's donate the money to the Astros Foundation. I think that would be
cool. I'll DM see if Bregman can sign it too, and that way we can try to get some serious coin for it. Because I went to the game and I put it back in my garage, and I was like, well, it would look cool on my desk, but I think it should go to like a serious collector or something.
Right? I feel like maybe Bregman would react better to a DM from you.
No, I will.
Richard,
I will.
Than, versus like us.
Hey, I have this. We're gonna get this on the way in a podcast, so we sign it.
There is actually there. I'm a member of a. It's like Crush City Bobbleheads and Memorabilia. It's a Facebook group, and that's like the serious guys. Like they have like the display cases, and they do they have like they give a bobblehead out to season ticket holders, and some of those will sell for like $400 or $500.
Wow, it's awesome!
Because,
wow.
Yeah, it's crazy. So yeah, that would be awesome. I think we.
Yeah, we'll stir it up. No, I bet you we can get a couple like big retweets, and let's stir it up. Let's use this for good. I don't know.
I love it.
Yeah, man, I love it.
When you said bobblehead, that reminded me. I was like, oh my god, I have that in the garage.
So for our audio only listeners, so Rich O'Toole just walked out of the frame for just a hot second, went to his garage and pulled out a Bregman Better Welcome bobblehead. And if you are not on YouTube, go to the YouTube to like see it. And we're thrilled. Very excited. Thank you so much.
Yeah, no. I think
I'm so excited
the one thing that I love about the Astros community is like in the last like 5 years, and I've even tweeted about this because it's like really funny to me. It's like a lot watching like Love and Hip Hop. There's like drama in it. I mean, there's like these Astros girls, and they're like throwing shade and drama and like all this, dude. I like screw with them because I'll retweet them and like talk some shit, or I'll drop in the DM every now and then and be like, "Oh, tell me the beef behind what was said last night at the Astros game." Like I'm so into it, man, because I'm like, what is the deal with these like crazy It's like turned into their own community of stuff, and I love that about it.
I love that Rich O'Toole is in on Astros Hot Girl Twitter. I love
No,
this.
I mean I'm not even like I would never. It's like I don't date inside my scene. I don't date anyone in the music industry. It's just not what they say. Like don't you don't wherever. Same way. Like I would never want to date an Astros like chick because I just don't need drama or anything. I don't know. I feel like I want to date an Astros like fan. I don't want to date like ones that are like, because you can see that on their Twitter, they're like battling each other kind of, or like talking shit. And you're like, God damn, man. Like what's going on here?
I literally saw a tweet the other day and it was like, somebody went from my Astros bestie to blocked. And I was like, what?
Oh, I saw that.
But that goes to tell you that like we have a real community here. Like people are willing to like ride and die for the Stros, man.
Yes.
I don't know if you know this, but there is so I've met a couple people from Astros Twitter. We've done some meetups in Edo, but there is an Astros Twitter meetup like every, I don't know if it's the 5th inning, the 6th or the 7th inning. They all meet in left field at the St. Arnold's Brewery.
Nice.
So like they do it like every game. So they're like, okay, meet up at St. Arnold's. And they usually pick a couple games to where a bunch of people will come out at one time and they take a group photo.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, like, it's a big deal. Astros Twitter is like.
No, it's a big deal. I've been following since day one, and I'm like, I love it, man. Like I said, it's kind of like its own little drama series for me in the best way.
There is some Astros Hot Girl Twitter drama that just baffles me. It cracks me up. And I told Shelby, I was like, Shelby, FYI, I'm just so thankful that neither one of us can contend for that Astros Hot Girl Twitter like label. That
you know what? I just had a brilliant idea. Imagine the drama if the Astros had Astros fantasy camp and all these Astros Twitter people were like in the same vicinity for a week.
Oh,
like
I think
you had to.
I say film it. I think there should be like if I was a reality like TV producer, I would just put a camera on them for the whole season, and then just release that shit on Netflix because it would just crush.
That would be the best. That would be the best reality TV ever.
Why do the Astros not have fantasy camp? So, I'm listening to Baseball is Dead with Dallas Braden and Jairus Carrabis. And Dallas Braden is a coach, or was a coach this like last week or week before, at the Oakland A's fantasy camp. And it was the funniest shit I've ever listened to in my entire life. These people pay $5,000, like it's no travel included, dripped head to toe in Oakland Athletics gear. Like, they stitch your jersey. Like, they give you pants. Like, you're wearing the batting helmet. They're
Nice.
they're going to treatment in the hot. They're sitting in a hot tub in the morning. Like, at one point he was like,
so like them and the rats are chilling.
He's like, literally, yeah, like my fears, right? And so,
cheers.
So he's like, yeah, it's 6:30, and the first bus from the hotel already went to the facility because they're going to get treatment from our athletic training staff. And the age range of this thing is like, you got like 25-year-olds up to like, he's like, I had a 62-year-old woman on my team. Hi.
Or yeah, I think that'd be amazing. Or do like sleepovers. Like, they should offer like a Friday night till like Sunday morning where you can like either bring a tent. Maybe it costs like $500, and like you bring your own tent, and you find a little square in the outfield, and then anything goes, like BYOB, and just film that shit. Let these people hop around from
oh my gosh.
tents. People are spending the night. People are hooking up in the outfield. People are like making babies, trying to like name their trying to come up with a little Jose Altuve in the center field. Like, I don't know, man. I think it'd be pretty wild.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, they would probably like mate at shortstop in hopes that like the gods would produce Jeremy Pena on the spot.
I'm sorry, it's like so inappropriate. I just think it'd be like that. I think it'd be really funny.
That's what this podcast is all about. The inappropriateness. That's why we said at the top to hide your kids, because this is not a child friendly pod. But I told Shelby yesterday that if Astros had some sort of fantasy camp, I would start an OnlyFans to fund that. That is what I would do.
You can always sell.
That would be amazing.
Pics. That's like a thing too, right? Yeah, so you don't have to show.
See, Shelby?
You don't have to show all the goods, man. You can just sell creepy dudes your photos of your feet.
Well, I have to tell you, you just made my entire day about selling feet pics, because on the back of my statistics on my baseball card, it says, favorite quote from past episode, will definitely sell feet pics. Maybe. You said that.
There you go.
Yes. But yeah, no, a fantasy camp, I'm sorry, but I would fucking carve every old, middle-aged, old, washed-up man up. I would carve them up. I'm throwing straight gas in my Astros uniform. I
wouldn't put it past you, Shelby. I wouldn't put it past you.
I bet she could. That'd be amazing.
She could. Do you know? Okay. Do you know Shelby's stats, Rich? Shelby is a humble motherfucker. So Shelby will never tell you how badass she is. I will tell you how badass Shelby is. Shelby is so good at fucking softball that she was. When was it, Shelby? In 2011? No, 2017. 2017 is.
I graduated in UH 17. Yeah, okay. 17.
Okay. Is that when you won all the awards, Shelby?
That is when I won.
So Shelby was the athlete of the year for UH because she's so fucking badass.
Awesome.
And I'm sorry, Shelby. What? When I found that out, I was like, so you mean Shelby's like a real badass? Because I always knew that she was really good at baseball, at softball. No. She's actually really fucking good at softball. Like, say your actual stats, Shelby. Don't be humble.
I honestly, I have no idea.
I'll be Google.
Shelby!
That'll be my Shelby Miller Google. I'll have to go down the rabbit hole and find out.
You can, you can go down the rabbit hole.
What position
Googling now,
were you a pitcher, or what did you?
So I play in college. So I transferred schools after my freshman year, but in college I played every position except center, second, and catcher. So I pitched for a while, but my senior year we had a coaching change, and they were like, "Yeah, you hit a whole lot better than you pitched." So I think I pitched like 3 innings all year my senior year, and then I like DH, played first and third. So
okay, so I pulled it up.
That was my best year.
Well,
I Googled.
Well, this year, Shelby, I want to take an at bat against you. We need to set this up. So
all the content. We're going to get all the content
and put it on Twitter. I want to take an at bat against you. So I'll get I want to straight. I want 3 outs, man. You got to strike me out 3 times, and let's just get. I'll make all the arrangements. I'm friends with Coach Dan over at U of H, so I'll see if I can pull some strings and be like, "Look, we're doing this thing for Twitter. I want the smoke. I want 3 at bats against Shelby, and we're gonna go there and see if I can take you deep." So we'll see what happens.
And I'm going to live stream the entire thing. That's what we're going to do. This because I have the athletic ability of a gnat. So that is my strength is what I will do. So Shelby's stats in Shelby's awards in 2017. The American Weekly Honor Roll, the American Hitter of the Week, May 1st, the American First Team for first base, the American Co-Player of the Year, NFCA Second Team All-Region. In 2016-2017, the American All-Academic Team. So not only is she a fucking badass, she's fucking smart as shit. Shelby, you're a catch, ma'am. NFCA All-American Scholar Athlete.
Wow, Shelby.
What?
Good work.
Shelby. Fucking amazing. This is my co-host, y'all. I'm so fucking proud of her.
Amazing.
Shelby.
And now I inspire young minds every day for a career. And
what do you do now? We don't make fun of me asking, Shelby. What do y'all do? I know that Suzy, you said you're a photographer. What do you do, Shelby?
I work in secondary education. So this is my fourth
Does secondary
year.
mean like the kids that have to like go to like the T building outside the school? What does secondary mean?
No, secondary is high school.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, secondary is high school.
That's what they refer to it as. High school is secondary.
Secondary, I think secondary technically is like middle school and high school.
Okay.
So like primary
and
school, and then secondary.
Okay, cool.
But yeah, I help our students with. I advise them on like their college and scholarships and that nature, and then I help out with our athletes as well. So it's pretty fun. It's never dull, but I have been severely busy the last 2 weeks, and I have wanted to drink all the bourbon, and there is no baseball to watch, but that's pretty much, I've been needing that escape, but it has not been there.
Yeah.
So.
Well, it sucks that like for my job, they let us drink at work. As a songwriter.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
it sucks that you don't get to like, sip a bourbon when things are tough at 1 o'clock in the afternoon.
Yeah,
or you'd be fired.
and yeah, I think the state of Texas would get involved in that, I'm sure, and I would not be fun. But yeah, no, I wish I could, if I could make a living doing this. And honestly, I do play the guitar, so I have, it's over here, but I've said it for a really long time. I feel like all my problems would go away if I could sing. If I could sing, I would be living my best life. I would be living my best life.
Yeah.
I would hit every dive bar. I would, that all my problems would go away if I could sing, for sure.
But I think new problems would form as well.
No, addiction's not a problem.
You always forget that. They kind of go hand in hand. So.
Addiction's not a problem, but no, it's fun, but I'm very blessed that I do have good hobbies. I think that was like the hardest thing for me coming out of softball, because I coached in college after that. After I graduated, I coached a little college ball, and then I got into education after that. And it was really hard coming out of softball. I'd played since I was like 4 years old. So it was really hard for me to find a hobby that outside of work, to kind of not think about work, not think about softball or anything like that. So this is an awesome hobby, and I'm very thankful to be a part of this, and I'm thankful that I get to have a good laugh every Sunday, and get to be around a lot of really good people.
Yeah, sky's the limit. I think keep doing it and try to, you never know, hopefully maybe this year who's the biggest guest y'all have had on the podcast so far?
You may know him. His name's Rich
Oh,
O'Toole.
man.
So super awesome guy.
Yeah.
We really like him.
Well, hey, if I come across someone that has spare time, I'll push them your way. Maybe 2023 will really be the year to, fire it up and rock it.
Well, we've got some pretty cool things coming. So, we actually, we started a second show, which is the talks of it. We haven't recorded it yet, but we have one. It's called Back That Astros Up. We're going to do.
You gotta get the juvenile song in there. Like, dun.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So I was literally delirious after work one day. And my very first, what was my very first recommendation? She was like, hey, we got this show. It actually got picked up by a sports network that started on the East Coast, I believe. On the
St. Louis.
In St. Louis. And so we had to come up with a name. And I had gotten to work at like 6:15, and I was on my way home from work at like 6 p.m. So it was like the longest fucking day ever. And she was like, "Hey, what do you think? We got to name this thing." And what was my first one? I think it was Astros and Titties. I'm pretty sure it was my first.
Astros or Titties. That's what
or
it was.
Titties, yeah. Astros, because people say Ass or Titties, yeah.
Yeah. And so I was like, I was drinking water. I spit it out. And my husband was like, "What is the matter with you?" And I had to show him because my 7-year-olds were around. And I did not want them to just start running around saying, "Astros or Titties, Astros or Titties," because they would. And so I had to show him, and he died laughing again. And
then I think it was like Stros and Hose. It was like all
Stros and Hose, yeah.
And I was like, "Please excuse me." A 16-year-old boy's sense of humor.
I love you. However, that gives off not the correct vibe that we want to get, because the entire premise of why we started a baseball podcast, a woman-led baseball podcast, was because a lot of the podcasts that were out there that we had come across were, how shall I say, very, very pretty girls that just didn't really talk about baseball, and we're just kind of there to be looked at. And I was like, I don't want that. Like, I want to actually talk about baseball and like learn about baseball. And so I feel like that's probably not the best vibe that we're going to give.
But both of y'all are good looking. It's not like y'all are ugly. Y'all are two good looking girls. It's not like that's what I'm saying.
I'm going to clip that part, Shelby.
I think the days of the knockout 10 model look is over. It's gross, man. I don't even go on. Like, I'm single. I'm back single again, and I'm been going on dates, and I'm kind of prejudiced against the girls that are too good looking. I'm like, I don't want any of your trouble, man. Yeah, I don't want any part of it. I know someone else. Let someone else be the sucker and buy you all your shit and pay all your rent. Screw you, dude. I'm looking for that good 7 that likes to play golf and drink wine and hang out, because no one wants their shit.
So toxicity, if her name's Kathy, she's probably toxic. Sorry to anybody named Kathy.
No, I would not date someone named Kathy.
Yeah. So there you go.
But,
I feel like I'm being red the whole time because I'm laughing so much. This is so funny.
I know, me too.
We're a good time. We're a good time, Rich. That's what we've been told anyway. So, if anybody out there listening wants to go on a date with Rich or Toole, if you have to like wine, you can't be toxic, and you have to, enjoy baseball and his music. So,
I think you set your bar earlier. Like, you were like $25 bottle of wine. If you can enjoy a $25 bottle of wine, that's it.
Yeah, I'm a good time. I'm a good time. Yeah, I don't know why. I dated someone for 7 years, and we should have got married. And we broke off for engagement, and since then I've been single for a long time. And I think I was just so focused on this music and my career. And I've dated some really great women, and we've all remained really good friends. It's just tough out there, I think. But as you get older, I just turned 39 this year, so I consider that old. But as I get older, I kind of want to settle down and have a partner and a relationship, because it just gets old now. It used to be cool to go out and date different girls, and it was all about the hustle and all that, and now it's too much drama, man. I just want to find a good partner, so that's the hardest part about that.
Well, I'm just saying that both Shelby and I can be great wing women.
Match me up on the make that a little 5-minute segment where y'all bring in interview some people for me. I live in the Heights. I have a really cool home. I'm gone a lot. I'm gone the weekends a lot. It's a drawback, but.
So you say you live in? Are you Oyster Creek? Is it Oyster Creek, Spring Creek? What's the little place there? There's a little food bar place right there in the Heights.
Cedar Creek, that's on my street.
Love that place.
I live.
We don't want to attract stalkers to Rich. So maybe
I'll tell you I'll tell you 4 streets over from my house. I live on 8th and Heights Boulevard, so 8th Street and Heights Boulevard. So right there, all these bars are right there. I walk there on the jogging trail and stuff. My house, it's a cool house. It's real architecturally odd, and it's hard to find because it's hidden between these trees. And so I don't worry about anyone showing up. If you did, I would, just wouldn't answer the door.
Well, I mean, it's
Texas. So, be careful. We're packing.
The next time I hit up McIntyre's, I'll do my best to not try to break my neck trying to find your house.
No, send me a DM. If I'm up there, I'll come join you for a beer. We'll talk some Stros, man.
Love it.
I love it.
Let's Man, so there's a little bit of baseball to talk about. Let's get some baseball because I want to get into some Rich O'Toole music.
Yeah.
So let's talk a couple baseball things. So the biggest thing that I saw this week, and I think there was a lot of talk about, and I actually tweeted about it, was Jazz Chisholm Jr. with the Miami Marlins. They traded for Luis Arias, who is now going to play second base. So my immediate thought. I literally tweeted it as soon as I thought it. I'm like, what the fuck are they going to do with Jazz Chisholm Jr.? Because he's electric. I mean, he's a new age guy. He has a lot of swag. Like he is, well, besides Sandy Alcantara, like he is the Miami Marlins.
Right.
Like
he is the face. Yes.
He is the face. Then it comes out after Jazz Chisholm Jr. is going to go play center field.
Okay.
Suzy, how you feeling?
Yeah, so here's the thing. I fucking love watching Jazz Chisholm play. When, like you said, he is fucking electric. The problem with Jazz Chisholm Jr. is that he is so electric. He's that guy that he wants to go get all the balls. He is going to play with 150% heart. That motherfucker is going to run straight into a goddamn wall and hurt himself like the first game. And he's going to be out for the fucking season because he's going to go 9,000 feet in. Like, he is going to hurt himself. He's going to hurt himself. And how many games has he played in center? Like 3?
Oh, I can't. I don't know. I don't think it's been very good.
Now I have to go look because I want to say that obviously that is not the position that he has ever played before. And he's going to hurt himself. What are we doing here? Like, you just want to create an entire fucking lineup of second basemen and see how well a lineup of second basemen are going to do?
So here's actually, so, you know, I'm gonna talk off that. You said you want to create an entire lineup of second basemen. Normally, like when college recruiters go out, they look for center fielders, shortstops, and second basemen because they're the most versatile people and the most athletic people on the field. Right. So they're fast, they're athletic, they usually can hit for contact. You're going to find a couple that can hit for power. And I don't know if I was sold on it, right? I don't know if I was sold on him going to center until he comes out and says, I'm going to go out and win a Gold Glove. And I was like, fuck yeah, Jazz Chisholm. Go be the best center fielder. Say
exactly.
it, do it. I'm on the train.
But
I'm on the train.
If you're an audio-only listener, you will have missed my super awesome reaction of like looking like I am having a seizure to Shelby because I'm dying here. Yes, I agree with all of the things that you say, Shelby. I agree with you. Do you know how many games the motherfucker has played in center field? Zero games. None of the games. He played 37 games at short in 2021.
But here's the thing, too. You're talking, you know, you're like, oh, he's going to go out. Like, he's going to go 150%. It's so much easier for you to put a leash on a dog and pull him back than try to catch him.
I don't think so.
It's so much easier. Like, you got to tell him, like, hey, you know, like, you're in center field now. Like, it's so much easier to pull back on a dog than it is for them to get the hunger.
Okay, I agree with you. I agree with you there in theory. Because they're going to tell Jazz Chisholm this. They are going to 1,000% tell Jazz Chisholm, sir, I need you to like rein it in. And Jazz Chisholm is going to say to himself, yes, I should rein it in. And his body's going to go, fuck you. I'm going to go do what I'm going to go do because I'm an athletic motherfucker and I can go get this ball.
Right.
And he's going to run into that wall at 100 miles an hour and he's going to tear his shoulder or like blow out his ACL.
I think the good thing about the Astros, though, too, is they have a lot of leadership on that team. I mean, he's not going to get very far. I think straight up, you know, Tucker in right field. I think, you know, Altuve and Pena and stuff because they're have to work together on catching a lot of the shallow fly balls. That attitude is going to get cut real quick. And I think I think when he does have that spark in him, they're going to use it for the better because, I mean, he's not going to go very far with that amount of leadership and that much talent for them not to go, this is what you need to do. This is where we need you and what we need you to do to be part of this team. So I think maybe they'll dim his light a little bit so he'll be in more control, you know, and hopefully that works.
I feel like maybe the players on the Marlins, like Joey Wendell and like and Carlos Santana. Like I think like maybe they'll like divert maybe that energy. Hopefully, fingers crossed. Yeah. Like hopefully that they will take the reins and like not Carlos Santana because Carlos Santana is not on the Marlins. I'm dumb. Carlos Santana is on the Pirates. Anyways, but I'm hoping that maybe that like veteran leadership will be like, stop it. Don't go 9,000 miles into the wall. Okay. Like just rein it in.
It's going to be fun. I'll probably track the Marlins for a little bit to see how it goes. Cause it has to be controlled chaos. It can't just be chaos. Like that's, what it's probably going to be chaos from the get-go, right? Like he's going to go 1,000,000 miles an hour, but it has to be controlled.
Probably
they said he wants to win a Golden Glove, though. I mean, last year? He didn't get a lot of time, so he's gonna
because he was hurt.
Right. So he's gonna go to the Marlins and just. You're right. I mean, maybe he goes and just
60 games.
That's what I said. I thought maybe when he was filling in for Altuve on second base, that spirit would have been. So yeah, you might be right. He's gonna get out there and get real headstrong and maybe injure himself. In center field. I don't know.
I mean, Jazz Chisholm, whatever. He's going to go be a wild thing. But so is Spencer Strider, right? Wild thing.
Oh, my gosh.
Spencer Strider, pitcher for the Braves, changes his number to number 99. I fucking love it. Love it.
He needs to get the glasses, too. He needs to get the glasses.
The
haircut. I mean, if you're going to do it, man.
Well, so he comes out and he says, I guess they were having kind of like a fan day as well. And he came out and said, he was like, yeah, I want to change it to number 99 because I love Wild Thing Rick Vaughn. And then he also says when he creates himself in MLB The Show, he always makes himself number 99 too. So, but so Rich, during the season, we normally do at the end of our episodes, we do like our favorite things from the week that happened in baseball. And it's been a while since we've had one of these, but this was my favorite thing in baseball this week. My favorite thing. That and Spencer Strider doing his broadcasting voice. He definitely has a little Vin Scully in him. He could definitely have a future in broadcasting.
Nice. I love it.
1,000%. That clip that was shared on Twitter was amazing. So on the days that Spencer Strider does not pitch, he needs to be in the broadcast booth. He needs to do at least an inning of just color commentating because that would be amazing.
I love that.
Or maybe he just reads out the lineup.
I got to meet Vin Scully. I went to every single World Series game in 2017 because I had season tickets. 17 before the Astros went to the World Series, we really were getting attention. I bought season tickets the year before for the 17th season. I got the second row and the Crawford boxes, and it was only like $6,500 for the whole season. Like a friggin' steal. Now those same two tickets are like $25,000. So I went to every World Series game during that. So I was like, I have a picture of me, the only guy wearing an orange shirt at Dodger Stadium. And this is before they hated us, so it was like totally everyone was like nice. Now I would have been murdered.
Probably.
But yeah, I was walking in the stadium and Vince Scully was walking out, and I like just had to get a photo and shake his hand, and he was cool. So R.I.P. Scully, but
he's amazing. Amazing. And one of the things, Shelby, that I'm really kind of sad about with the whole pitch clock thing is that there will not be any more story times in between like pitches.
Yeah.
Now, granted, Vince Scully was amazing and that God-given talent to weave stories in and out without missing a beat of the actual game is his talent was second to none. And there's very few announcers these days that can probably do that. Because there's some announcers where I'm like, oh no, the pitch clock will definitely come in handy because if I have to listen to like the Blue Jays broadcast team, I'm gonna unalive myself off the bridge. Just
or Apple TV. God.
Oh my gosh, bless it. Oh, the Apple TV broadcast. Don't get me started on that, Shelby. We don't have enough time for that, ma'am.
We don't, because I do now. That was really all the baseball stuff we had. I really want to get and Rich. Let's talk a little bit about music, man. Let's talk a little bit about your career and a little bit about you.
Yeah.
So the first thing that I really wanted to ask you is, so I've never understood how someone can sit down with a pen and paper and pump out a melody that aligns with song lyrics, right? So talk a little bit about like what are your inspirations and what inspires you to put pen to paper, and how did this start, man?
I don't know. I definitely have an odd gift, and I'm very thankful for that. In baseball, I'd bring the guitar on the bus, and I'd go and make up songs about the coaches, and I'd make up songs about players when I was 16, 17 years old.
Side note, Rich, what position did you play?
I was a pitcher. So I loved pitching. And I can throw the ball. I got scouted. I was going to go, did go play for Abilene Christian for like a day to transfer to A&M because I blew my elbow out. So that's about as far as I went. But I could throw the ball about 88 fastball. I had an 83 mile an hour curve. I was good. I never lost a game in high school. My traveling partner, I won the Triple Crown World Series when I was 16, was Scotty Kazmir. He plays for the Dodgers and played for the A's. Me and Scotty were roommates all from 13, 14, 15, 16 up to when we both were playing high school ball. And he could throw the ball about 95 left-handed. Senior year played 99 and got drafted. I just didn't have that talent. He threw the ball 8, 9 miles an hour faster than I could, which is night and day in the professional baseball leagues. So from there, I picked up a guitar and I was really good at songwriting. I could make fun of it. I didn't know it until my coaches were like, I know you're roasting us on the bus. You're roasting other players, making up I'd make up songs like, just about them and their girlfriends and shit. And they're like, the coaches were like, these are really good songs. They really are. Like, just use regular lyrics. And I think, so I went to A&M, and I was obsessed with Robert Earl Keen and Jerry Jeff Walker. And I was obsessed with Texas music and Townes Van Zandt. And so I just started writing. I wrote my first record, and it came out my 5th year at A&M. I begged my parents to I didn't want to graduate. I wanted to spend all the money I had, and I didn't really have any. My parents, I had to help pay for college. They helped pay, and they're like, "You're graduating." So I turned in a 1.0 my senior year. Almost kicked out of A&M, and then finally graduated like 5.5 years of college. Yeah, so. I put the CD out. I moved to Austin, and I'd just been history from there. It was a funny thing too. When my first CD, my parents wouldn't give me money really for it, and so I had to. I had a shitty 2003 stick shift Camry. I gave to the bank for a $12,000 loan. And I remember the officer of the bank called me and was like, "We made a mistake. This car's only worth like $3,000, so I don't know why we gave you this fucking loan." And I was like, "You already gave me the loan. I already spent the money on this record." And they were almost going to repossess my car. Like 2 days before I came back and paid for the whole record. And it was like, I think we opened up for Randy Rogers and made like $2,000 that night. And I could finally pay the bank note back, and living off and on with my parents. And the first 7 years were really hard. I didn't really have any success, but now we've had 7 albums out, working our 8th record. And we've had, about 15, 16 songs on the radio and in the top 10 on like the Texas music charts. And that's helped me really live like a pretty, decent lifestyle. And I'm still doing it. But the gift was there. I could always just pick up a guitar and write. I wrote a song this morning. I write every morning. I kind of get the melody in my head. I get the idea of what it is. And it's kind of poetry. You just kind of write, verse, chorus. And then you put it down, and then, we go to the studio. So I'm in the studio all this week recording the new record. And that's it. And it's a really fun job. I'm just so blessed I get to do it, to be honest with you. I really am. It makes me humble a lot because I'm like, nah, this could be taken away any second. But yeah, I was kind of just like someone that could throw a ball, like Scotty Kazmir could throw the ball 99 miles an hour, or a NASCAR driver to a musician. You were born with something, and you use that gift to have a fun job. And that's kind of what I kind of had, So
that's amazing.
I think it's so special. I've loved music since I was little, but I've never. In middle school, I'm like, man, I want to write a song, and then you sit there and you start trying to write it, and you're like, how do people like you say you wake up and you write every single morning? I can't imagine just sitting there and being like, okay, it is my job right now at this moment. I have to write a song. It's unbelievable.
But you have so many. I'm sure you have so many talents that I don't have. I couldn't manage. My mom's an accountant, and I couldn't manage a check to save my life. There's certain things that I just couldn't do that you can do.
I can't wait until Shelby gives you a smoke, Rich. I can't wait. I feel like that's one of Shelby's sounds.
Man, it's
where
it's
did
terrifying,
where did the live stream you pitching to me? I want a fair like I mean, you got to strike me out. Or if I take you deep, Shelby, like it's over, dude. I mean, I quit the podcast. I would just try to like move states. I don't know. Just wouldn't.
No, I will have to move states because I will be so ashamed. Probably, like I will, like no, that's freaking. I can't wait, man. But so you get the opportunity to travel quite a bit, and tell us a little bit about. You're very interactive with your fans, and you're very interactive on social media with them. Who are some people that you've had the opportunity to meet, and some kind of memorable experiences that you've had?
Yeah, a lot. I've opened for Willie Nelson twice. He was really cool to hang out with. He was really protective. I was the only person that got a photo with him and got to talk to him. Pretty much open for anyone in the business, really, because we're just big enough where we get to open up for cool people like Dirk Bentley, Luke Combs. I sold half of my gear to Cody Johnson when we were both coming up together. I toured for 10 years with Josh Abbott. So I know a lot of the big guys in Texas country because I just kind of toured with them. We all came up together like a freshman class. You name it, Wade Bowen, all that. And so, they all have something special. They're all really talented people. They all have funny stories. They're all unique. I think that one thing that, which I had to learn, the pandemic was really bad for a lot of artists because our brains are so like active on songwriting and going out there and touring and traveling and going to city. I mean, so someone like that, like myself, I had trouble with it too. And I'll admit it. Like I dealt with a little bit of depression and alcoholism last year, just based on the fact that like, I didn't get to leave the house for 2 years and I couldn't tour and I couldn't go get on stage and I couldn't do any of that. By 1 o'clock, I drink a bottle of red wine. By 5 o'clock, drink another bottle of red wine. I was probably drinking 3 bottles of red wine a day for like months straight because I just had nothing to do. I love to cook, so I was cooking and drinking wine, gained like 15 pounds. And I finally had to look in the mirror and be like, all right, you're going to go sober for a while. You're going to kick this habit because it just it got too easy. And I stopped thinking about music. Then I wasn't writing. And that happens. I mean, it's kind of like an animal. You put an animal in a cage. I mean, you're going to devastate it. And when, people like myself that are songwriters or are people that like to express or meet people or go out there and travel or meet fans and are extroverts when it comes to a lot of that, you put us in sorry, I lost y'all for a second. You put us in a box for 2 years, you're going to get some trouble. And that was something I had to learn. It was a big thing for me, and I'm very humble about it. And I talk openly about it because I try to help other alcoholics and stuff. And I don't really use that word because I don't know if I'm necessarily an alcoholic. I'm just a person that was really bored. So I don't know. I go sober quite a bit, and I go back and forth. Sometimes I'll have wine with dinner, but I try to really stop it and try not to get really hammered anymore, drunk, because I don't want it to get back to a habit. But that was kind of the past year. I kind of had to get back and get my wind back in my sails, which I'm glad I did because we have a really bright year ahead of us that I'm excited about. So,
that
was a real Debbie Downer moment.
No. Well, see, and it's not at all. Like I think it takes a lot. I mean, this is the first time that we've interacted with you, right? Like we give you a time, right. We give you a link, and I think that says something special about what you've gone through and that you're open and honest about it on here. Like this is your first interaction with us, and people are going to listen to this that you don't even know. So, I know it's going to outreach. It's going to get out to people, and they're going to be able to understand what you've been through and understand what you're going through. So, thank you for that. And thank you for feeling like, this being a safe space for that kind of stuff. And, listeners, I hope, if you are struggling with something like that, you are able, there is an outlet and there is a way to get out of it. There's a lot of support system. There's people there for you. And there are. Rich, thank you so much, man. That's awesome.
Yeah. Like, that's one cool thing about the Astros community is I don't know why I feel like I trust y'all. It's because I see the Astros logo. I'm like, these are good people. So I mean, there is something about reaching out to your fellow Astros buddy and saying, and if you're listening to this, you can send me a DM. Always open to talk, or I can give you some pointers on how to kick the habit, how to get your life back to where it needs to be. I'm always open to talk as well. So I'm not perfect either. I don't think anyone is. I mean, I think every musician I knew went through exactly what I went through. I think a lot of people just sit and talk about it because it looks bad for business. But for me, I had to. I was the kind of guy where I didn't really know where to turn. And it was great. There's a lot of guys that are sober in our scene, and I just kind of went sober for a while. Then I started drinking wine again, and then went sober again too. And so it was something where it wasn't a battle. I never got arrested, never was never drunk in public. Nothing really ever happened except for me just worrying about myself and how to do it. But yeah, you're right. There is a community out there, and they're always willing to help. So if you're listening to this and need some help, reach out. I'd love to talk to you. Go out of my way.
I was actually going to ask you about COVID. So being a songwriter and being a performer. So I actually, I told you I'm a big Flatland Cavalry, Club Cordero fan. I'm a big live music fan. I love to go out and listen to live music. And I actually, I know one thing they did. It's hanging on my wall. They had a stream. They streamed one of their albums and you had to pay. It was like an online concert basically, and it was pretty awesome. So, what did you do over, COVID with your career? Like, what did your career look like? So obviously you're not going to venues anymore. You're not doing setup. You're confined pretty much to your house, as you said, kind of cooking and hanging out. What did that career look like?
I kind of went the other direction than other artists did. I tried it for a couple of weeks, and because a lot of people were made a lot of good money off of it. They made a lot of new fans. They were on there doing live streams every day. They were selling tickets online. I tried that, and I just slammed the laptop and said, fuck it. I don't want to do this. I don't want to play to a computer screen. This is not why I did it. And it didn't fulfill anything in my soul. I was doing it just for the money. And so I just blew through 75% of my savings, just living, having a great time. And I just didn't play live on a lot of live streams. I didn't go play live for my fans. I was like, I'll see you in 2 years. Come buy a ticket and see me in person. I don't want to play to a laptop. I'm old school.
I couldn't imagine that, because it's, you're obviously a very personable guy. Like, we can tell that with your personality. Like, you're a people person, and
right.
People gravitate to you, and you gravitate to people. Because I could totally see where that would be really hard. But yeah, I can't imagine being on a lot of them did the Instagram lives and put out their Cash App so that you could tip them in Cash App or something like that. And, you're not getting that relationship building. I'm a people person too. COVID was horrible for me.
Yeah.
Not being able to socialize. I'm a social being. I'm sure Suzy loved being in the house because
1,000%. I don't have to go nowhere. I'm going to talk to people. Done. You don't even have to have a pandemic.
Those are good times too. Yeah.
Yeah. I will sit in my house and not talk to anyone. I'm good.
You're talking about that, man. And I would have felt the same way. It would have been really hard for me to just sit and stare at a laptop and, watch Cash App or Venmo notifications come through. And, and it's hard through chat, right? You're getting these questions through chat, and it's basically like you're playing an interview at the same time. So, man.
I'm not a charity guy. Like I said, I really did blow through 75-80% of my savings, which was scary. That kind of would have led to a little bit more drinking and depression, because I was like, for 15 years I've been touring, and I saved up all this money to retire one day, and to see 80% of it gone, just living off of it for 2 years was just like, oh my God. And I'm the kind of guy that I don't do charity. I don't want any charity. If you try to donate money to me, I will give it to another charity. So when people are on there go to my Cash App, I was like, no, I sell you a ticket. You show up and you see me live. I'm cool with that because I work for my money. And that's just kind of how I was raised and how I was. So I refused to do anything where I got on there and played for my fans and they sent me money. I'm not in the charity game. I don't need the charity. I want to work for it. So it was hard. It would be like you if they told you to, you can't get on the field. We're going to need you to play softball in your living room, but you can pitch the ball into a computer, and then somebody, it's like playing your game, but be like, no, I'm a player. When the team gets back together on the field, I will join them and we'll go out and play it. I'm not doing this online. And that's kind of how it's how I felt about it, and that was really hard.
So I'm gonna get out of this. COVID sucked, man. COVID fucking sucked for a lot of people. So I do want to talk about tell me about a show, because I can't imagine what it feels like, right? To step in the spotlight, like your band, your guitar, and a microphone, and then there's people in front of you. Like, holy shit! Like I can sit here and do a podcast, right? But if I'm getting hundreds of thousands of people in front of me, I would probably knee buckle and piss my pants, right? Because, so
I've been close to that.
What is the biggest show you've played, and like the most memorable for you, where you were like, holy shit, like you're sitting there, you have your pick in hand, and you're like, holy shit, I can't believe I'm sitting here and I'm playing on this stage in this moment for these people?
It was a lot of
What
things.
was that
I
moment?
mean, anytime, like, my idol's Robert Earl Keen, so anytime we opened for Keen, there was always 2,000 or 3,000 people. Opened for Dirk Bentley a lot. Randy Rogers, Wade Bowen, playing festivals. A lot of times, I'm not gonna lie to you, the old rich kind of I'd chug 4 Coors Lights and I'd be fine. Mm-hmm. Now doing it sober is really tough, because you have to get yourself out of the panic. That panic attack's going to happen. You're going to get that fast heartbeat. You're going to get really scared. Your knees are going to buckle. You're going to feel like you're going to piss your pants. So you got the first couple of songs, get that out of there, joke with the audience. My job is to win the audience over. So, I mean, when I'm nervous, I got to get out of that nerves, because if I don't, I won't win them over. If I'm confident and I'm out there, I can win that audience over, and I can get them over to our Spotify and Apple Music and start playing our music and fall in love with the product. So my job is, when I get out there, to really just try to relax. Alcohol really did help that. And I'm going to miss that on the bigger shows, because I probably will have a panic attack, and I probably will clam up for the first 5 minutes, and I'll have to just get through that shit. And that's just going to suck. But it's not easy. I don't think anyone finds it easy. That's why there is such addiction in the entertainment industry, is because you do have to get up there in front of an audience. That's hard. I don't know anyone that finds that easy. So we'll see. I think this year I'm going to try to really do a lot of shows sober, and I think it's going to be a muscle that I haven't really flexed in a while. So
yeah, I had told Shelby a while back that if I could just live my life just mostly like if I could just be a high functioning alcoholic, that I would 1000% be more palatable to like 99% of the people that I meet. And it's because I'm way nicer to people when
me too.
when I'm a little bit more drunk. And she was like, "No, what are you talking about?" And it's because I'm anxious and I have social anxiety, and I'm like, "Nope, not going to talk to people. I don't want to talk to people." But apparently, when I'm drunk, I want to talk to all the people. And
Same.
and everyone's like, "What are you talking about, Suzy? Like, you're so extroverted." And I'm like, "No, it's a very good act that I can put on for the peoples, but inside I'm dying." And then it takes me 9,000 years to come back from that and be functioning in the real world. And so I feel that on a deep spiritual basis.
Yeah, and it's going to be hard for me to do. I'm going to have to learn. I've done a lot of shows sober, but you're never away from it. It's just right. Anxiety is right around the corner. And you may have the best day in the world, and one little thing will set it off. And that's why I have a hard time. I do a lot of the national anthems at like minor league parks, but I have a hard time doing it. And I've done it for the Astros like once. I've done it around the country. I think did it at the Cincinnati Reds. I did it in New York or something. I don't remember. Those are terrifying moments because it's dead silent. You mess up the national anthem, you're friggin' done. You're gonna be on every single blog. Your heart's going just like this. You're sweaty. It's a miserable experience, but it toughens you up. And it really is a mental muscle that you have to develop to be in the spotlight, because I don't want to rely on alcohol the rest of my life to do my job, which sucks. And, pitchers don't get to do that, because let's relate it back to baseball. I know guys, and I'm not going to tell you their names. There's a lot of guys that have played intoxicated in big moments because they went to their locker and they took a couple shots of whiskey because they had a big at bat in a playoff game, and they just couldn't fucking shake the nerve. That shit does happen.
Who's the pitcher that did the perfect game? Hi, Shelby.
Doc.
Oh, yeah, did it on
There you go.
On acid.
Yes.
I partied. We played in Denver, and the Denver Rockies and the Cincinnati Reds came out. This is like 2 years ago. My buddy was catching for the Reds. They stayed on the tour bus till like 5 a.m, and they had a day game the next day. And I was like, "What are y'all going to do?" And they're like, "We play hungover all the time, man." I'm like, "God damn, this is terrible."
Rich O'Toole, did you just say that you're friends with Tyler Stevenson?
No, this is Cameron Rupp. I think it was. Like 4 or 5 years ago. Yeah, they were playing the Rockies. They all hung out together. Like it was like 3 of the Rockies and 3 of the Reds on the tour bus, and that I was like, "Don't y'all like for the week at least hate each other?" And then they're like, "No, man, we all go to dinner afterwards. We don't give a shit unless there's like a brawl or something, you know."
That's amazing.
Hey, let me grab. I'm gonna plug my phone real quick. Y'all talk. My phone's almost about to die, so I'm gonna plug it out.
Okay, man. I'll tell you. We'll get into. So I'm gonna ask Rich a little bit about his upcoming tour, and then we're gonna kind of wrap this thing up. Man, this guy's amazing. This guy's freaking amazing. I am so
Rich,
glad
I'm so excited to have you on this episode. Like we definitely want you back at some point. When you're, not touring or whatnot, like
yeah, no, I'd love
if you have like a spare
Let's
minute.
recap. First, I'm definitely gonna battle Shelby on the softball field for
I'm so excited about this.
And then we can and then when the season starts, I think our album comes out in October. So let's hop back on in like September, and maybe we can talk about the new album coming out or something.
Man, I would love that. I was actually going to tell us a little bit about your tour. I mean, you talked a little bit about your album. You said and your singles that you're going to drop. When's your tour announcement, man?
So we're big in the Southwest area. So like Texas, we're obviously pretty big. New Mexico, Louisiana, Oklahoma, Arkansas, decently solid. We just need to really, this year's like kind of a sales pitch. We're going to do Seattle, Atlanta, Florida.
Yeah.
The West Coast. We're going to go to like every city, basically. A lot of it's going to be just me and a guitar in small, intimate rooms to meet all the fans and stuff.
Very cool.
Texas will do bigger shows, like, because usually in Texas we have 700 to 800 people that show up. So that nothing will change there, but we're going to break a lot of new markets with like new radio stations with the new single and the new album. So it's going to be a busy, busy year. And that's one reason I decided to kind of go sober this year was like, as I got older, there was just no way to do both. I really had to, and this is a year I want to work hard. It's like COVID's over. I want to knock them dead in the teeth. I want to go out there and release a really great record, meet every fan, do every podcast, do every, TV station and radio interview, and really just get the brand out there. I think I write decent music, and I think people need to hear it. And I just really haven't, since 2019, given it like a fair effort because of COVID. So I think now that COVID's done and we're all on the same page that it's done, it's like, all right, let's go kick some ass this year, So, it's kind of like, Tommy Boy getting in there selling the auto parts city to city, man. It's going to be like that.
I'll tell you what, we'll definitely be at probably a couple of those, man. I know you're going to have a great year. I look forward to it. I'm definitely going to pay attention a whole lot more to your music coming out. And especially, man, guitar, and, having a Michelob Ultra or something, that's my kind of scene. I can't wait, man. It's going to be great.
Thank you. No,
I'm definitely going to
thank y'all for having me on. I really appreciate y'all too. And, we'll be in touch. We're still gonna, I'll tweet it out when we're done. I'll take a photo of this and I'll tweet it out and tag y'all in it. We can get the party started for charity.
Where can our listeners and your listeners, where can they find you on social media?
The good news is Rich O'Toole is my real name. That's a goofy ass name. So there's no other Rich O'Toole. So if you're on Instagram or Twitter or Facebook or TikTok or whatever, if you type in Rich O'Toole, I'm the only guy that's going to pop up. So really.
Okay. So basically
just type in Rich O'Toole at Rich O'Toole. It's all on there.
All of the quote unquote regular social media outlets, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, Rich O'Toole.
Rich O'Toole.
Toole with an E at the end, guys.
E on the E, yeah, because I always tell people that because every hater I have loves to use the word tool when referring to me because I'm like, oh, Because O'Toole was a
very
famous
original,
name in
guys,
Ireland.
very.
Can you imagine if like the famous last name was like O'Vagina in Ireland? And all of a sudden, like I started a career with it. They'd be like, "Oh, this guy, Mr. Vagina over here." It's like, dude, Toole was a cool name like 100 years ago, and now I'm like an idiot.
Oh my!
But
I
no going back.
love it.
You know, it's my real name, so
Love it. Love it.
And then music, are every platform, Apple Music, Spotify,
every
Amazon.
platform. If Touchstone jukeboxes and the Waffle Houses, anything that music's on, we're on there. We've had three major record deals, so like at least 3 of the albums are on just everything. I own the other 4 on my record label, and we're on everything with that too. So we just have major distribution. Any jukebox you go to in the United States, Rich O'Toole's on there. Just type it in, put your quarter in, crank up some jams. I used to live above a bar in LA for a year when I was writing for Sony, and there was a jukebox below me in my apartment. And I got the app, and I would just play my music like 24 hours a day to like random ass people.
That's awesome.
I was like, and you're gonna hear some Rich O'Toole, and guess what? Rich O'Toole's gonna be playing next. So let's fucking go.
Oh my gosh, I fucking love it.
So,
Fucking love
Well,
it.
man, we're definitely going to have you on again. Thank you so much for taking time out of your Sunday to hop on. I'm really looking forward to it, and can't wait for the album to come out, new singles, and then we'll definitely pop up to a couple shows. I'll definitely act like a craze fan, 1,000%.
Please, I'll let you know. I don't know what we have in the books for Houston. We'll either do like, I don't know, man. I think we're going to do like the small room at White Oak or something. I'm not sure what it is, but whatever it is, I'll tag y'all
Ooh,
in
very
it,
cool.
and I'll give y'all some tickets to
For
get
sure.
away to or something. It'd be fun.
For sure.
Thanks so much, man.
Thank y'all. Hey, I had a
So-
blast, and be in touch. And Shelby, we're going to get that date for the softball thing. I want all the
Let
smoke.
me know.
Oh my gosh, we're so excited. Rich, we want to thank you again for hopping on the pod with us, and we don't want to take up any more of your time because we really appreciate you taking the time to talk to us today. So all of our listeners, if you would rate, review, follow Rich as well, Rich O'Toole, RICHOTOOLE on all of the social media platforms, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, all of those fun things. And then if you will rate and review our podcast as well, Bourbon and Baseball, on Spotify and Apple, we would super appreciate that. If you like to look at our super awesome faces, you can go onto YouTube, Bourbon and Baseball Podcast, and you can subscribe there and rate, review, leave a comment, chat with us. We love the interaction. Odds are you will probably be interacting with me, and then I will tag Shelby in all of the things and get Shelby in the mix as well. So again, Rich, we appreciate you coming on the pod, and we will be super excited to see any of the new show dates and all of that stuff. Any of the singles, we will definitely be retweeting and helping you push that as well. And with that, we will end the podcast episode. Rich, again, thank you so much. And we are so thrilled to have this interaction with you. And I can't wait until Shelby gives you all of the smoke. So
ditto. I'm gonna go take some batting practice next week. Get prepared for this. So. Well, thanks.
I'm so excited.
Seriously, thank you again. And let me know whenever you're sharing this so I can share it from my end as well. So.
For sure. We will definitely tag you. All of our listeners, if you guys are into Texas country at all, definitely listen to Rich's music. He is amazing. And with that, we are going to sign off. So thank you all and have a great day. Bye, guys.
Later.